Holy, what's going on? That building, it's gonna fall! Captain Marvel!
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. This is 5x5 and I'm Simo. If you haven't already, smash that like and sub button. Now grab your fave bevy, a seat, and let's get into it. I'm back to talk with you about Captain Marvel Jr. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, this wave of McFarlane figures is hitting Canada slow. I was watching people on Reddit get their figures for about 2 months before I got mine. That said, this wave is still available in retail right now, so you should still see it on the shelves at your local GameStop. You'll see it on Amazon. You should see it at Walmart. Whatever retailers you normally get your McFarlane figures from, you should still see Freddy. And that is also true in Canada. I saw him at EV Games just a couple weeks ago. So let's start with the packaging. This is the packaging from the back. You get some great promo art from the side, from the other side, and from the front. Now this is what's in the box. So let's go through these. This is the trading card from the front and from the back. You can pause it to read it. He comes with 5 sets of hands. One is 10 hands in total. One is a thumbs up. And it pairs with a pointing finger. You get 2 sort of gesture reaching hands, which are good for flight or transforming. The other side, the other hand. These are sort of grabby hands, or like casting hands. And the other one. They look really good, but he really shouldn't be doing that. That's a topic for later though. And then gripping hands, because, you know, he might want to hold a gun, because, you know, Captain Marvel Jr. does hold guns, you know, sarcasm. And he also comes with lightning effects. A lot of them too. 2 small ones and 2 large ones. This is the other small one. And then the big ones. You just fit them around the arm or the leg or whatever you want to do with it. They're kind of flexible. And the other one. These are for use with the Flash, but I guess McFarlane thinks this is a lightning character, so you can use it with him. And his stand, of course. Mine's a little dusty. Let's move on to articulation. He has ball jointed shoulders, swivel at the bicep, double jointed elbows, double pivot wrists. So it swivels at the hand and then also at the base of the wrist joint, and then it also hinges or pivots. And he swivels at the chest and at the waist. They're on ball joints, so they actually pivot and swivel. So you can tilt, rock, back and forth, side to side. Pretty tight, but you can do it. His head does turn around, but he has a kind of limited range of motion on the up. Can't look up very easily, just down. Moving on to the legs, He can kick up this far. He does have slight twist in the hips. Double jointed knees. He can kick up this far. And then the same as the wrists, it's double pivot ankles. So he swivels at the top of the ankle and in the foot, and then that allows him to pivot and hinge. He can do his splits this far. This is his horizontal range. Here he is in the Vetruvias pose, or V pose. I call it the Vetruvias inspired pose because that's a Michelangelo thing and I'm an art nerd. I feel like this pose is pretty useful because it really shows range of motion, but like from a natural perspective. And the T pose. All right, I like to look at my figures from a style versus substance perspective, so I'm going to break it down like that. In terms of the style, I love the look of the overall figure. I love the slim teen build that they used. I think it makes a really good silhouette for the character, and it's really appropriate for Freddy being a young teen guy, or tween, depending on how early you go back in the canon. I love that they used a soft goods cape. I love that they got the boots right. The cuffs on the boots are accurate, and they were not accurate on Captain Marvel. The top of them should start at the bottom of the calf. This is a really iconic part of the Captain Marvel and the Marvel family costume, and if you're not doing that, it's just wrong. It just doesn't look good. It's one of the few really recognizable elements of the costume, so if you take it off, it's just, yeah, it's just weird. Going on about the body a little bit more, I really love the scale because they're using this Superboy body. I love the scale that this guy has with Captain Marvel. What I didn't like was the lipstick. McFarlane is using a darker red and it just doesn't look right. It looks like lipstick on him and it's just not working for him. It's not his shape. And there's also a light blue highlight. If you look closely on the chest, you'll see it. There's a light blue highlight around the logo, the lightning logo. And I guess it's supposed to add some dimension and depth, but I just feel like it's unnecessary. I'm nitpicking on this one, but I don't know. I think it would have just had a nicer contrast if it was just the straight darker blue. It's a subtle thing anyway, though, so it's not going to matter to a lot of people. On to substance. I love how this guy feels in hand. He feels good in hand. He feels solid, but he still feels light and like sort of limber and lean, the way you would expect like a more teen character to feel, rather than a big chunk of plastic that's supposed to be a big bulky bruiser like you would get for a Superman figure or a Captain Marvel figure, or even one of the mega figures like Swamp Thing or something like that. So he feels really good in hand. And he looks really good in hand too. Even though we're going through and breaking down and being really critical here, a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing is not necessarily stuff that you're going to see in hand on your own, because you're not going to be looking at the figure in HD at like 10 times or 20 times zoom, right? So in hand, he looks great, feels great. His face also looks great. The paint apps are good and clean. I also really love the extra hands. 5 sets of hands, that's 10 hands in total. Allows you to do just about every iconic pose and posture and hand gesture that you can imagine for him. It has really good clean paint apps. There's no slop on mine. I didn't find any errors. Obviously that's going to be random. Some people are just going to have paint slop and errors and other people aren't. I got lucky, mine's good. I didn't have any flaws with mine. Now on to sort of the more substantive flaws. He has limited head articulation, and I think it's because there's a short peg in there. The soft goods cape is great, but it is wireless, and so is the collar, which is pretty disappointing because if you're going to go soft goods but not put a wire in, it means the cape's going to just stick out in every direction like you have a crazy bedhead all the time. So it's going to need a wire. Also, the trim on the cape rubs off. The gold will rub off. So I would be very careful if you're around water and either dipping him for modding or you have sweaty hands, sweaty palms. None of that. Just keep him away from water. I'm pretty sure that the rub off was due to having moisture on my hands. Also, I have to ding the figure for having inaccurate paint apps. In canon, his boots and belt are gold. The only time you see them not gold is in like cartoons with limited animation budget or in some print with limited printing budget. In canon, they are supposed to be gold. For a lot of people that are just happy with a cartoon version, they won't care, but for me, I care. File this under nitpicking, but also his wrist joints are a bit of a problem for me. They're just a little bit ugly because they're big. They could have been either blue to match his shirt or gold to match the bracers. Another thing I think that really stood out is the shoulder pegs. If you open up his arms and you lift up his arms, he has bright yellow shoulder pegs, and those could have easily been the color of his suit and his torso, which is dark blue. So they're going to pop out whenever you have a pose that's open over his head or something like that, like a flying pose. You're going to see that. Again, on the nitpicking side, reusing Superboy was great, but the Superboy body has these weird square knees, and, well, they're just awkward looking. I don't know. And my last sort of complaint is for the accessories. We always want good accessories. We want lots of accessories, especially on a collector's edition. But 4 electric effects or lightning effects and 10 hands, 5 sets of hands, 10 hands is just a lot. We could have easily gotten rid of 2 sets of hands, the thumb up and the pointing hand and the trigger hands, and we could have gotten rid of just 1 set of lightning bolts, and you could have used the extra plastic budget for extra faceplates or another head. I would have preferred that. I mean, maybe 5 people are going to use the trigger hands, right? And if you're a real Captain Marvel fan, you're probably not going to be making him shoot electricity or lightning bolts out of his hands. At least not to the tune of having like 4 bolts on him or something. I don't know. I just don't see it. I would have rather trade at least 1 set of lightning effects and the 2 sets of hands for faceplates. I think that would have been nicer. Give him a little variety, like a neutral face, an angry face, and his goofy face. So with all that said, for me personally, because I'm just a perfectionist, I'm going to be doing some modding on my Captain Marvel Jr. I am going to add a wire to the cape, and once I find some new top coat, I'm going to be painting my belt and boots. And if I'm really adventurous, I'm going to open up the arms, and I'm also going to paint the pegs in the arms to get them to not be so bright. So overall, I'm not disappointed though, and I think if you're a Captain Marvel and a Marvel Family fan, I think you're going to love this figure, and it's a must-have. For everyone else, I think they're just going to be actually really happy with it, just how it is out of the box. I don't think most people are as nitpicky as me. Here he is with Captain Marvel, with Zatanna, and with characters from his era, Supergirl and Supergirl. On that note, that's what I thought. Let me know what you think in the comments. That's a wrap for now. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video. Stay safe and look out for each other.